the area is so covered with this other chemical or other hormone on top of it that they're not getting through. So you see these people jerking because all of a sudden it's like someone's turning off a faucet to your normal, dopamine and whatnot that normally allows your body to just move around and function. So what you're seeing is it being ratcheted off.
So effectively, would my observation be correct if this is bifurcated with some kind of nerve agent because people are losing control of their bodies?
No, I agree with you in one way, but I have to disagree with you in another way, only because, yes, you're correct, it is, but the let me get rid of the word disagreement. It is not that simple. That is what you're seeing. It is bifurcated with that, or it's a binary. It's a binary.
I'm not a medical expert by far.
No. That's why I am telling you. That's why I'm telling you. No, you're correct, and I withdraw my you're only half right statement. But I want to make sure that it's clear that what we're looking at is a biological pathogenic agent that specifically is causing. Okay, let me just say this. The only time you're ever going to see a human body do that when it's a biological agent that's causing them to do that is when the body is going septic. Now, here's the crazy part that I just found out the other day. Now, here's a great place for everyone to get their information at right now, because this is where all the actual some of the real nitty-gritty information about the virus itself is flooding into is PubMed.
What is that? Can you repeat that?
PubMed. I think PubMed, for the longest time, I think PubMed is a garbage website, and that's only because of the fact that people are posting information and findings on things that have been peer-reviewed because they've been overfunded by people who really don't want you studying real medical science. But lately,
P is in Paul.
These people who are
P is in Paul. U. B is in Paul.
PubMed. PubMed.org. It should be .org. I'm not sure if you find one that says .com or .net. But what I can tell you is this about it, is that lately, though, people have been posting real medical findings, or maybe it's just the website has finally been updated in such a way where the relevant medical information that you actually want to find is there instead of you being inundated like it's a Google search engine or something. Mm-hmm. But what they're posting on there is everything they're finding about the virus, its genomes. This is how we found out. Everybody around the world found out that, there's two different base pairs. Two different sets of genetic material that have been grafted into the genetic code of it that are directly related to HIVs. That's how they found out it's got components of myrrh.
Oh my gosh! Now you're really hurting my brain. That is insane. That is insane.
Built on the chassis. Built on the chassis of the coronavirus. You know what I mean?
Do we really know what has been put in this virus?
Here's the thing: is that so apparently the Chinese found some fucking. Excuse me.
No expletives on the show, please.
Sorry, some unfortunate fool, some functional fool. They found some functional fool to go and basically take their basically guide their laboratory scientists, quotation marks, put $1 billion on both sides, and help them map the genome of it. And I hear them say that, and I think to myself, like, well, how are you mapping the genome of a virus that keeps mutating? Now, keep in mind, when I say keeps mutating, we already have articles posted on PubMed where now it's been discovered that this thing can jump from, here's what they said, they can jump from dogs to cats. I'm sorry, from humans to bats, right?
I've heard that they're actually,
they are telling people to kill their dogs and cats, because they said
this, David, but it's true.
You have people throwing their dogs and cats out of their apartment because they can't leave it. So now what else is getting burned or shoveled or God knows what? My point is this. What they're not understanding, this is what people are not understanding about the situation on the ground is, and this is not...
Wait a second. I need to interject. Before we go any further, I just want to state that the second half of the show is going to be about precaution, sanitization, and boosting the immune system.
How close are we to that part of the show? Because I definitely want to touch on that. How much time do we have before we enter that phase? I'm sorry.
I'll let you touch on that.
No, I mean, how much time do we have before we get to we start covering that? I'm sorry. Because I'm gonna wrap this. I'm gonna wrap this part up real quick.
Laugh, I'm gonna cry, and it's when you start talking about sex,
I mean, this is the kind of incompetence that has been bred into the bureaucrat, not the political, the bureaucratic class in the communist Chinese Communist Party. Like this is the incompetence of it's better to tell someone they're wrong and fire somebody and try to humiliate someone or destroy them economically, financially, or politically, or even socially, rather than acknowledge that you're doing something wrong because you have the power and that's all you care about. And you want to look good with your power. And that's what we're seeing. That's why that whole situation is the way it is. So I say that to say, hey, I'm not here to bash Chinese people because I think that they've been scarred and brutalized for more over than 60 years moving forward. And anybody who wants to argue that, I just look at them and go, well, everybody can see it now. What are you talking about? Everybody can see it now. What are you talking about? So
you have to consider that they've been, like you said, they've been protesting in the streets of China for the last 8.
Well, they've been protesting, they've been protesting in Hong Kong. But let me say this: you're not wrong, because people regularly protest in China, but they also regularly get brutally shut down to the point where I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound really weird, but about either 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, China laid off like maybe 600,000 people in their military. They just that's like maybe 10%. I think it was like 10% of their military. They just got rid of it. Yeah, you're all fired.
And since you're mentioning the military, really quick, has this affected China's military? I mean, man,
their military. Listen. With the way things are going, before I even say how it's affected their military, with the way things are going, people keep saying, like they're wishing, if they can just get back to work before the middle of, if they can just get everything up and running again and the factories moving again by the middle of March, they'll be able to preserve their government power. However, with the way things are going, it is impossible for them to get everything back to normal before that time frame. But realistically, everyone knows right now that if they don't get the situation back in order by no later than the first week of June, their government is going to basically evaporate. And the reason why I say it's going to evaporate.
Oh my gosh, I was not expecting you to say that. I
keep saying it. Like, the reason why I'm talking like this is because I already like there's things that they've done, and there's when this first happened, I had to think about what's this.
Like, this is so bad. Like, it's grim.
No, it's not grim, and I'll tell you why it's not grim. I'll tell you why it's not grim. Everybody keeps running for the side of the road where the clouds are dark. You know what I mean? Like, don't run for the side of the road where the clouds are dark. Run to the side of the road where the clouds are bright. Here's where the clouds are bright. Here's where the clouds are bright. Hello? Okay, here's where the clouds are bright. I mean, the clouds are bright because what you're going to see is that once this happens, every country that was oppressing, repressing, killing, and brutalizing its people, censoring them, is basically going to collapse because China had bought and propped up their dictatorships.
Wow, and that's some powerful words that you're saying.
Listen. Like, I'm listen. If you think they'll be able to hold on to Tibet or any of these other places, or like everywhere in South America, they're being problematic.
Okay. I'm just going to be all these advocate for just a minute, like just a little bit. And I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but I need to interject. That's some powerful words that you're saying. You're talking about a country where the U.S. has 45% of their holdings, which includes the tech, 45% of the U.S. economy. Not only that, they hold probably the largest power over our pharmaceuticals. So when you when you say this,
think of you have to understand something is that so I keep saying day 22, or every time we talk, I keep raising the number, right? I keep counting up, right? Every time we talk and do a show. But what I think people are not understanding is that if you have an addiction or a dependency, or whatever phraseology you would prefer to use to describe your relationship with the pharmaceutical industry and or their products or whatever else, please be advised that this relationship that you have with them is going to evaporate cold turkey. So a lot of the synthetic drugs that people might have been getting, a lot of the it's one of those situations where if you have any sort of, let me put it this way, any sort of any people who,
shout out.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just giving a shout out to India.
Well, India's already moving in the direction to try to corner that market right now. They're ramping fast. However, based on the way Pakistan handled the situation of 108 or 103, maybe 106 of their students who are currently in Wuhan or in China learning about, who are studying there, who are now, I got to send you that video, how they're trying to, let me pull that up, how they're trying to get a ride home from the place. And, listen, you've got over 208 students
now that you mentioned that,
from Uganda. You've got over 200 students from Uganda who are trapped there.
How many people are still traveling to and from? Where are they traveling to and from? What countries are still open?
Thailand is still letting people travel from China.
Oh my God.
Russia just the other day said no. Russia said we don't want anybody from. And the reason, and Russia's signaled that their psychological, their reasoning was they are not sure if the virus is specifically ethnically targeted, because I can tell you this when I found out that little piece of it, because I thought about it, because most people don't know that Russia has a what could be considered Inuit population, or population that could be considered Asian, living in their environment, and part of the Uyghur population is genetically a part of that group of these, sort of Euro-Asian Asian-looking people who are, definitely part Asian, definitely part European. Sometimes they look a little more Asian, sometimes they look a little more European. But these people are definitely, possessing